From the reveal of GENO's long-lost daughters, to the truth of the Seven and the Imagined Order, this is all the storyline leaks for Marvel x Fortnite Zero War Issue 3 Explained. GENO is a very mysterious character, due to his little amount of in-game action and cutscene presence. Instead, his story has been more foretold through the comics, and it is absolutely insane. In pages of Zero War Issue 3, it is revealed that GENO is actually a scientist who specializes in both biology and genetics as well. That explains his name, Genetics and GENO. The Imagined and the Order, also known as the Sisters, two members of the Seven, are actually his daughters, and many have predicted this. He genetically modified them so that they could be as perfect as possible. And originally the Omniverse was GENO and the Sisters' playground. So I wonder if those two godlike figures were actually the sisters. I mean, it makes sense, godlike, perfect. But after GENO threw them into the loop in cause of a bet that they would escape first, they ended up not being the first to escape the loop. And GENO was like, okay, I've tested you to see if you could escape the loop, and he wasn't all too happy with his daughters. So he actually just full on replaced them with their more battle-ready snapshots, as it says here. Alrighty, it gets pretty dark and there is a lot to unpack, so let's take a deeper look into this whole, betraying your own daughters type of thing. Originally, the Omniverse was GENO and the Sisters' playground. That is such an interesting line. I assume that GENO likely used this as like a testing phase. They were used to go to realities for him, and pretty much he just made really strong slaves for himself, and they were his daughters. Like, that is completely horrible. Then we hear that GENO actually sent the sisters straight into the loop, because he was super confident that in testing they would be the first to escape, and obviously they were not. Now here's where it gets really interesting. It is actually said that, he then replaced them with their snapshots, but they hadn't escaped the loop at this time, so how would they have snapshots anyways? This makes me believe that the whole snapshot system, yes, it is mostly created when someone leaves the loop, but GENO can actually have more control over it. He can make snapshots whenever he wants. I mean, with our newfound knowledge of him specifying, in genetic science and research, it actually all adds up pretty well. He basically creates new versions of us as we escape, to track every single version of every single person, and I'm pretty sure we can understand why he wants to know so much about the different versions of every world and person. Why does he do that? Well, the comics actually reveal what in the hell the Imagined actually want, why they are doing all of this. They are on a hunt to find the perfect civilization, and we know that when DNA is hooked up to the 0 Point oscillation system within the bridge, it leads to the reality that they actually came from being displayed or transported through the 0 Point, like Batman did in the comics to get back home to the DC universe. It's no doubt that GENO brings people in from all different places along with the 0 Point, so he can test where they came from and see if what he's looking for is their reality, see if it came from a place that is perfect civilization. That would explain the whole grab everyone from every reality ever type of thing. He's getting everyone from every possibility and seeing where they came from to see, this is it, is this the perfect civilization? And with all of the evidence stacking up, it looks as if the loop is just kind of like a test he runs alongside the 0 Point, of course, running it as well. And he runs it on people and their homeworlds, which, if you ask me, is a perfect explanation. This is also a perfect explanation to what exactly the sisters dreaded so much about their past. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the fact that they abused every reality in existence, or the fact that they destroyed millions of lives and families just for their own benefit. Heck, they even stuffed over Jones's family and cursed his will to live. I now totally understand what they wanted to find out so badly about their past, and obviously since Imagined, isn't too happy about her past, she doesn't take the whole news too well, so then her and Wolverine proceed to kiss, which I'd assume cheers her up. Okay, great, moving on. You know what's a great distraction from the Fortnite comics being a whole lot more, full on than they should be and depressing? You guessed it right, more depression. We will now enter into the super sad story of Jones's past life and how he pretty much eternally dreads the position he's currently in and the danger his family is eternally just stuck in. How fun, Epic, how fun, thank you. Remember how Jones had those photos in his office? Yeah, well, in one of the comics, he went back there and saw one of the photos on the floor. Of course, from there on, he began tearing up, and this is then revealed to be a photo of his first wife, who is now dead, so yay, nice, more depression. Actually, you know what, all of his wives are dead, that's just so fun. Every single one is dead. To add to all of that, Jones's family is in eternal danger, and he'll have to watch all of them die in front of his very eyes because he's immortal and they're not. This is a whole lot to take in, I know, I understand that. So let's explain all of it in a little more simplified way. Anyone who works in a certified role of the IO gets to be virtually immortal, whatever that means. I mean, I guess they're kind of alive because of some virtual thing, I'm not sure. Jones's family wanted nothing to do with the loop, so they obviously weren't given that privilege of being virtually immortal, and instead, they're in some super threatening reality where they are most likely all going to die. So there's a lot of death hinting in this comic, and may I just say that this really doesn't sound like Fortnite anymore. I thought it was a kid's game. Then, to make it even more dark, Jones wants to leave the Order to go to his family, but Jones and GENO manipulated him into staying so that he could protect the descendants he doesn't know. What, to protect people he doesn't? I'm sorry, I'm really confused. This is just getting way too out of hand. Epic, I know you have fun writing these comics, but just remember, it is just like an M game, it's not. Stop, please. Again, I really have no clue what virtually immortal or descendants he never knew could mean. Does Jones just have stepkids or something? I have no idea, but that's okay. You can figure that whole, virtually immortal descendants thing in the comments if you wish to do so. Okay, seriously, I think it's time we get out of the MA15 plus Fortnite era, and maybe move over to something a little more innocent, a little more just, problem solving kind of thing. Sure, why don't we move on to the Paradigm story? Remember in Chapter 3 Season 1 when the Paradigm sent a ping to the Seven, but then they were also shocked to find her alive? How does that make sense? They've already heard her, but nope, she's actually dead and they're really shocked, but she's still alive. I mean, it's a bit weird. Well, it's actually because the suit has an AI built into it, and the person that was sending messages to the Seven in Chapter 3 Season 1 was the suit's AI, it wasn't Paradigm. Also, Paradigm's little enemy IO arc in Season 9, well yeah, there was a complete reason for that. Paradigm only allied with the Imagined Order in Chapter 1 Season 9, so she could convince them to not totally destroy the island. The Foundation is still a little sus of it all, and with good reason of course. But was Paradigm really all that bad? Either way, it's definitely not something the Seven need to focus on right now. We've got the Bloom Watcher looking like she's about to kill us all with one click of her fingers. We got super natural beings like GENO, the Elementals, and Midas too, but hey, we've simultaneously got an awesome Fortnite summer party, so let's just try to look at the positives and not Fortnite suppression era. Donald, your story is getting real interesting.